As you said, house with granny flat. Ultimately, what I was looking for was a property that offered strong capital growth potential due to its location. But I also did want a higher than average Sydney rental yield. So I had been working for about 5 years full time after graduation, and I had been saving all the while. I was ready to invest my money in something, but I hadn't yet decided what. So I was in a position where I knew that I wanted to get a foot into the Sydney market. It's where my loved ones are, it's where my friends and family are, and I just wanted to make sure I also had a base here. But at the same time, I wasn't really clear on what kind of investment strategy would best fit my goals. So I was kind of looking for a mentor at that stage or seeking a little bit of advice. At the time, it really came down to being unclear about my strategy. I didn't really have a clear process for going through the purchasing journey. So it's very easy to go jumping down different rabbit holes when you're an inexperienced investor. You just don't necessarily know where the best didn't know how to identify the best opportunities. So anything can look good, but it isn't necessarily the right thing for you. So I was just in a position of trying to find the right investment strategy for myself and not knowing where to start. You just don't know what the unknown unknowns are, how to identify the best opportunities. There were many points at which, I did feel a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of information I was finding. It's very easy to on one hand, there's a great wealth of resources online, but it's also very easy to get lost in those resources and not necessarily know the next steps to take. And so, I could read one thread in which one particular investment strategy was recommended and then another thread which completely contradicted that one. And so I was a little bit confused at points. I wouldn't say it was necessarily a rock bottom, but there were definitely turning points for me as well in my investment journey. The number one goal was, of course, to purchase an investment property. But the number two was for me to learn the process. So where I see the Investors Academy being really attractive versus using a more traditional, like full service buyer's agent, is that the Investors Academy kind of teaches you the process for yourself. You get to learn the mindset of a buyer's agent, at least a part of it, and then you get to apply those learnings again and again. So I think there's quite a strong value proposition there. For me, the way I saw it is I'm quite early in my investment journey. So if I choose to buy another property or multiple, I'll be able to repeat those learnings. And so I thought, what better time than with the first purchase to learn how to identify the right property in the right location. I had listened to podcasts, I trawled through forums, and these were all very helpful resources, make no mistake. They were great resources, but I just needed a sounding board for my ideas. So I was seeking kind of like an additional level of customization, and I wanted to be able to discuss those things one-to-one with someone who had experience with seasoned investors. And so that's where the difference really came in. And I also wanted to know who I was in business with. So, Property Investors Academy, I know that I'm speaking to Sana and Mona Ali, whereas online, I don't necessarily know the credentials of the people who I'm getting advice from. But for me, the Property Investors Academy was quite reasonably priced for the huge amount of value it delivers and the huge amount of education you take away from it. And for the reasons I mentioned before, knowing who I was doing business with, knowing where I was getting my advice from, having a sounding board with really experienced investors, that was a big draw for me. I also didn't necessarily want to, go via trial and error route. I wanted something a little more assured. It's not a cheap property market. My key reservation was that there wouldn't be the level of individual contact that I was wanting with Sana and Mona. So I was wrong in this, which was great for me. The academy actually strikes a really nice balance between group learning and kind of customized individual mentoring. For me, when I was weighing up buyer's agency versus joining the academy, I was always leaning towards the academy, but the one thing that I needed to know was that I would be able to have a direct line of communication with the team. Once I knew that I would, that was pretty much all it took to sign me up at that stage. I was really keen on all the course content. I was keen to learn alongside the group, and we've actually seen some really fantastic group collaborations happen as well, where people have been looking in similar areas and they've been sharing insights and they've been sharing advice on the experiences they've had with agents and the areas within those suburbs that are nice and not so nice. And it's been really fantastic to see the kind of collaborative environment that's come together in the academy. The timeline to reach my first milestone was very short. It was within, I think, roughly a fortnight that I had locked in an investment strategy that had previously eluded me for so long. And that's because I could talk to the team and talk to the group about my ideas and my circumstances, my goals. I found that the Property Investors Academy gave a really clear process for thinking through investment. So just to give an example, like starting off firstly with your goals, then using your goals, putting numbers to your goals and using that to work out a strategy to understand how many properties you'd need to buy, how expensive those properties might be or what kind of growth those properties may need to deliver, going down the funnel to the point where you're understanding what you must have and what you must not have in a property. Then you're able to really narrow down on key locations that suit your strategy, that suit your goals, and finally securing a property. So I do think that funnel really drives you towards taking action and does drive you towards a real outcome. And that's what I've found really helpful. The Property Investors Academy, it's for people who want to learn. It's not that Sana and Mona are going to puppeteer you or they're going to tell you where you should buy. This is about you applying your learnings to then make your own decisions and to take ownership of your purchase and doing it in a manner that you feel supported and that there's a bit of a safety net. There is no perfect property. There are just properties that tick your essential boxes and that maybe tick some of your nice to have boxes. Those are the ones that are worth serious consideration. It's very easy to, spend months and months searching for a unicorn property that just doesn't come across your path, and then you may miss the market. The market may move on without you. You may be priced out of the suburbs you were interested in. Yep. So especially in a rising market like this.
Like, what surprised you the most about the Property Investors Academy?
It was definitely the level of one-to-one interaction I had with the Property Twins team. So yeah, it was just a level of support that I didn't expect at all, and I was really really very pleasantly surprised by. The first big win was definitely making that first offer. That was the point at which I realized, yes, I know what I'm doing. I'm committed to this market that I've been looking at, and I have the confidence to secure something. That I would have to say that was the first big win. Definitely making the purchase and doing it in a way where I did take the leap and I did go strong on the offer. Before you make an offer, you might wonder, will I look back and regret it? And I haven't regretted it. Time will tell whether I've made a good investment, but I'm pretty confident that I have. Another key milestone was making my first few deal analyses. The reason I say that is because you just really start to get a clearer idea of what it is that you're looking for as you analyze more property deals. It's almost like you're training yourself up for the actual purchase. So being able to make those analyses effectively and more efficiently with each one, I would say that was a milestone, because you just get better and better at discarding the deals that aren't right for you, and progressing with the ones that could be. I was at dinner with two friends. I was, giving them the play-by-play of my purchasing journey, and all the details, all the exhaustive details, like War and Peace from Tolstoy, of the property that I had bought. And one of my friends who had recently purchased a property using a buyer's agent, said, "You sound like my buyer's agent." So big compliment. What does it say? PIA, not only does the academy drive you towards your first property purchase, but it's also training up potential future buyers agents. I have that confidence that this is a process I can repeat again and again. That's what I would say the critical difference has been. I now know that I can go through this process to purchase another property. I know that I have the skills, the knowledge, the tools to be able to do so, and to select a high quality asset. And so that's been a really helpful learning from the academy that I just don't think you can easily get elsewhere. Probably when I first broke the news of my purchase to my family, and I was like, well, guess what I just did? I just bought a house.
That is so
Then
funny.
it felt kind of strange to say, but at the same time, I'd been thinking about it for quite a while, and by the time that I actually did purchase, it just felt like it was something inevitable. I think going through this entire process to purchase has also really told me a lot about the way I think, what I look for, the decisions that maybe stumble me the most, and the ones that I make really easily. So I have a better understanding of myself as an investor as well, and that also, I have this bank of knowledge I can draw upon in the future. And I'm also, excited to see how the rest of the academy also progresses. There are a lot of members who are achieving some fantastic results and starting to secure properties. It's kind of like dominoes.
Had you not joined the academy, where do you think you would have been at this point in time? Do you think you would have purchased, or maybe still looking?
Maybe, but I could have still been tossing up between different strategies, or I could have purchased an asset that wasn't as suited to my goals. If you're keen to learn and you're keen to take action and purchase your property, then do that today. Get involved, start learning as much as you can, whether that's through the Property Investors Academy, which I recommend. I would say that if you are keen to learn the way a buyer's agent thinks, and you're keen to learn how to go about selecting the right investment property for your goals, your circumstances, then this is a great program for you. It's not a program in which you will coast and all decisions will be made for you. It's a program in which the outcomes you achieve are commensurate to the level of effort and investment you put in. And so go into this expecting to apply yourself and expecting to reap the rewards of that knowledge, because it's knowledge that you can apply again and again. I just wanted to thank the team for all the support they've given me. It's been fantastic to work with the whole Property Investment Academy team, and I've really benefited from it.